All right, it is 6 p.m. We will call this meeting to order. Roll call. I forgot what I was doing. I'm sorry. Roll call.
Vasco.
Here.
Jesperson.
Here.
Nielsen.
Here.
Delahoy.
Here.
Stark is absent.
1B Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
1C, acknowledgement of the Open Meetings Act poster that is posted by the south entrance. 1D, adoption of agenda.
I move that we adopt the agenda. So,
Any discussion? Call for a vote.
Motion carried 3-0.
1E, approval of consent agenda items.
I move that we approve the consent agenda. So,
Any discussion? Call for a vote.
Motion carried 3-0.
1F, proclamations and presentations. 1I, Eagle Scout Proclamation for Martin Kahland Jr. All right. I'll go first. Okay.
you want to go in front of the American flag?
Yes, I do. Thank you. Okay. This is a very, there's a lot of words.
Oh, boy.
Okay. We're gonna
Yep.
come all the way over. All right. So this is proclamation honoring Martin Kahland Jr. Okay. For outstanding leadership and service, whereas the Boy Scouts of America were incorporated on February 8th, 1910, and chartered by Congress in 1916 as a program for boys and girls aged 11 through 17, designed to achieve the aims of scouting through vigorous outdoor programs and peer group leadership with the counsel of an adult scoutmaster, and whereas the rank of Eagle Scout is the highest achievement in scouting, representing dedication, perseverance, and service to the community. And whereas Martin Kahland Jr. has earned the rank of Eagle Scout by completing his project of upgrading the theater closet at Waverly High School, significantly improving the organization and functionality of the Waverly Theater Department. And whereas Kahland's pursuit of this distinguished honor initially faced challenges when his first idea was not approved by the school, yet he demonstrated adaptability by developing another idea and gaining the full support of both the school and the theater department. Kahland, alongside fellow scouts and family members, undertook the task of clearing out the Waverly Theater Department's closet, constructing a new shelving unit primarily from repurposed lumber, and thoughtfully reorganizing the space in accordance with the needs of the theater group, leaving a lasting positive impact. Now, therefore, I, Abby L. Pasco, Mayor of the City of Waverly, Nebraska, in appreciation of Martin Kahland Jr.'s contributions to the City of Waverly, do hereby proclaim February 23rd, 2025, Martin Kahland Jr. Day in the City of Waverly, and urge all citizens to become active in the Boy Scouts of America organization in promoting boys, girls, and young adults in building character, training, and the responsibilities of participating citizenship, and in developing personal fitness. They did this 11th day of February, 2025.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Would you like to say anything?
Speech.
Well, I don't know. It was really just kind of, I don't know. It was really just kind of getting the support and help of the City of Waverly that I was able to put this through. And of course, with the help from my dad to secure the lumber and all the tools needed, just kind of getting the communication and talking to staff members was really helpful.
Awesome. Thank you.
Do we get a gorilla?
Congratulations.
Can we give him the third degree? I'm curious. Would you mind if we ask some questions?
Not gonna be super right. What was your age and grade again?
I am 17 years old and I'm a senior at Waverly High School.
Okay, well, congratulations, double congratulations then. What did you end up doing? We mentioned a little bit in there with the closet. What was the renovation?
We added a shelving unit, and then we also rearranged where they had the workbench because there was so much room that wasn't being used. So we just kind of made some adjustments around the construction closet, as they put it.
And then more generally speaking, I'm just curious. So how long have you been in the Scouts in general?
I don't remember how many years. But I started late as a bear for Cub Scouts, and I think that was third grade.
Third grade.
So ever since third grade, I have.
And for a project like this, like where does the idea come from? How do you start your Eagle Scout project? How does that even begin?
Well, it starts off with some ideas that you just kind of have. And then of course you have to get them approved before you start the project itself, and like getting all the materials and what all you need. And for me, it was the theater that was, kind of struggling and keeping to maintain their space well. So I talked to my theater department and said, hey, I would like to build you guys a set of shelves to help organize better. And then they agreed to it. So then I did go to Mr. McMillan and then kind of the chain of command and go up, and then he approved of it. So then I was able to start on the project and getting all the materials and whatever I needed, the people to help out, the timing, the everything to kind of fall into place.
And when did you complete it?
It was completed during summer. I can't remember when because it was a while ago.
So they're just using
May
it.
of last year.
They're just using it for the first time this year.
Yeah.
That's great. Congratulations.
Do you like it?
Yes, they do.
Good.
They do appreciate it.
When did you have your final board review, your Eagle Scout review?
Oh my God.
November.
November. How was
It
that?
seems like so long ago. I don't remember.
How did that go?
It was a lot of them talking, but of course they asked me some questions of what I did along the way, and I mean it was
like you did a lot.
oh, I've got more.
Yeah.
They're just not so on yet, but yeah, it went fine. I was just kind of just there, existing, just waiting with a smile.
Congratulations, and congratulations to your dad too.
Yeah, I think your dad's proud of him, aren't you? Oh, yeah. Yep, one down and one to go.
One to go.
I know the work from the parent side of helping them along the way and the paperwork.
And it's very different from when I got my Eagle. We didn't have all the paperwork that these guys have now. It's what, 36 pages, I think, something like that they have to fill out. Some before the project, some during the project, and some after the project, and not counting all the merit badges that they have to earn, so.
Wow.
You have to turn it in, it's gotta be complete, they check it over. It's pretty extensive, so.
Because not only does it have to be it's ran by our troop committee, and not only through the school to get the approval, but then it has to go to the council to get another approval before he can even start. So.
Sounds like government.
Yeah.
Is it still 76?
Yep, Troop 76.
So you have a bright future in public service.
I hope so.
Good. We're always looking for, people to run.
Well.
Gotta wait one more year, I think.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Amazing project.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Are you gonna be?
Yes, I
So
will.
we will bring this,
Okay.
and if you would present it to
Yep.
him at the ceremony,
I will.
that would be great.
Yes.
Okay, thank
Yep.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming, you guys.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank you.
coming.
Appreciate it. Okay. Number 2, public hearing. Is there any, we have no public hearings. Take that back. Number 3, sheriff's report.
Well, how are you, Mayor?
Wonderful.
See, you got
John, cut Captain Vic's map up there.
We
So
do.
Have you used that tool then much? Kind of some looking at some things?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like, well, there was a new item on that he had put, it's called hotspots. And I don't know if you found that. And I'm the farthest person from computer. You might need to talk to Dave or someone else about this stuff. But it actually shows calls for service and hotspots in the city and the county. Waverly's a hotspot. I'm not going to, I'm not going to hide that from you. We've been having a lot of activity here. Our call volumes are high, but we're a city. So Hickman will show up as a little bit of a hotspot. We're definitely a hotspot. But there's, like I said, I could share with you, if you see your calls for service, Waverly is a fairly safe community. We don't have a lot of priority one calls for service. If we do, they're medical calls or fire calls type deal. But we're blessed to work in a community like this. Calls for service stay between 80s and 90s. And that includes anything from parking complaints to dog animal calls to, theft calls, just some routine, calls of that nature. Every now and then we'll get calls right outside of town to help on significant accidents, things of that nature, or other priority on calls. But for the most part, our call volume of our deputies are in, the city of Waverly. On that hotspot map, there is a 5 and 25. We want to reduce our accidents down in the county on high volume areas 5%. Here, so we really are working on corridors that are of significant prevalence of more accidents than normal. And you can see Highway 6 when you pull up a hotspot map, or our traffic accident map is going to show quite a few accidents from 84th, to 98th, 84th through 148th Street. So we are going to be focusing some more selectives on that in that area for us. So we'll be running traffic definitely from that I-80 corridor into town. Amberley's a good one. Right outside of Halion, we've had some couple really bad accidents. And yet it is just outside the city limits, but ultimately we look at that impact as these are cars coming into the city as I look at it, and some of our residents out there that we want to make an impact with. So regardless of slowing commuters down that are traveling through our town, we want to be able to impact that traffic within the vicinity of the city of Waverly. 148th is another hotspot. So we've had multiple traffic complaints from Waverly Road all the way through kind of Old Cheney in that area down 148th. There is some rumor, don't hold me to this or anything, that there is some engineering studies going on from what I had heard on a potential widening project on 148th. I don't know if you've heard that or not. Okay, good. I don't know if that's anywhere in the near future, but I think from my experience, but we've had some real bad accidents on 148th Street. So I think that'd be a nice, valuable investment for the county. Outside of that, that's where we're focusing right now, is on some traffic and enforcement, but also education and engineering. There's multiple aspects that come about traffic to keep our community safe. We call the 3 E's: education, enforcement, and engineering. Engineering part of studies and such, speed limits, roundabouts, all those kind of fun things that are way beyond the law enforcement side, but we can educate and enforce. And that's what we're going to be out there doing, is doing a lot of education, and we need to will enforce citations as necessary. So, there any other questions at all, or concerns or comments? TJ says hi. So he's on board. I've been working with Mayor a little bit and Stephanie on maybe how we can inform the community, educate them on dog calls, dog licensing, vaccinations, things of that nature. It's a public safety issue, but also a compliance issue with city and local or state statutes. So TJ is going to get us some information, look at what the mayor is giving us some information. Hopefully we can collectively come something together and figure out how we can get it to the community. So that's kind of what we're working on right now. And I did refer someone to the city office. I hope they registered their animals or not. See, that's the part where I really enjoy working with the community is, I worked at calls for service. My hands are tied. If you violate state statute or something, I got to do what I got to do. But in the midst of that, we found out dogs weren't registered. Hey, it didn't know or this. Well, let's educate them. Let's make sure we go down to the city offices. They came down here and complied. We don't have to issue citations. We really don't. It's community policing, and we don't always have to be the big bad wolf, but there's other ways to solve these problems and tickets. And that's what we're all about, is just compliance and education, if we can get away with that first before enforcement.
If folks need extra incentive, I was just reading that apparently a big pet chipping company went down, out of business. And I actually do know someone whose animal was chipped that way. It's worthless now.
Really?
And so the only thing you really can do is go get them registered again. And then maybe, if you want to get them re-chipped, you can re-chip. But like, there really is a big push to make sure that the registrations are up to date because the chip won't work anymore.
Wow. And I'd really like that for the simple fact that we work dog at large calls. It's very frequent. And rather than going on Facebook and posting a selfie with the dog and saying, hey, can someone tell me whose dog this is with the next hour so I can get it out of my car? We got to take it to the Humane Society at that. And I've done it. I've driven around with Fluffy for about an hour until I'm like, all right, enough's enough. But more than half the times you go on Facebook, someone will claim it. But the vet here in town does a really, really good job. She's got a log. And so if I find a dog, I check with her first. And she's like, oh yeah, that's this person's dog. If not, then we find out. I'll get her that information, whether it's hers or not, and saying, how can we kind of keep a log? And that's something I encourage to work with the city on is how can we get some kind of log, one, for accountability for registration, but also tracking. So we know where these dogs belong. That will help us with vaccination records. That'll help us with registrations, but it'll help us also unnecessarily having to put dogs in doggy jail, and our owners, have to incur significant fines, but also boarding costs and such that come with having to take a dog into custody. All right, well, let's stay warm and let it snow. Yeah, we'll be ready tomorrow. Yeah, we're ready.
And I don't think good thoughts for you.
Canceled school.
You just did.
Yeah, they just canceled.
Perfect. I mean, they got
Wonderful.
plenty of help tomorrow then. Thank you.
The other thing I would like to mention on sheriff's report is that another one of our deputies, Deputy Skallberg, was recognized last week, I believe, from the sheriff's office at the commissioners meeting for his life-saving efforts in Waverly for last summer's response at our Aquatic Center. So if you guys see him, thank him again. But he was finally recognized as the 2024 Life-Saving Award. And he is one of our 3 deputies.
Is that TJ?
That is Jason Skallberg.
Oh, James Cole.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
I'll make sure I share that with him, his recognition.
That's great.
number 4, public comments. Is there anyone here from the public that would like to make a comment?
Well, it's me.
All right.
Brandon Koll, Outfield Settlement. Brandon Koll, 12200 North 148. Apologize for this obscene mess. It's the only thing I have. We live with this little address here. This is obvious. I don't know. I know you guys got congratulations on the elections, by the way. So I don't know what you guys know or don't know. I haven't been here for quite a while, but we live in this little house here, and this is all city property, which you're aware of. City limits. I'm here today to talk about this road, 148th. You guys talk about it a lot, I think, with the milling and stuff. 148th gets damaged. But today I'm here to ask that the city do something, possibly get it paved. We live at 148th and Waverly Road, just right on the corner of Williams. It is city property. The road is white limestone. It's cheap. It helps control the road and stabilize it. It creates excessive dust, causes environmental damage, crop damage, health issues, breaks down quickly, and it crushes easily. Pea gravel is better, but it easily washes away and is very loose when over applied. So that's why the Department of Roads uses the white rock. If you drive by our house, you will see our houses, our grass, our trees, our gardens, our buildings, our cars, our children's play center is all covered in a thick white layer of lime dust. I did email Stephanie about it on 8/29/2024, asking the city to do something. Then I found out that it wasn't a city project, it was Matt Warner's project, which is a little bit further down, just on the other side of I don't know how many people are familiar with the treatment center, but the road that goes into it, Matt owns that property just to the north of that. And he was building up the grade. I don't know if you issued permits for that, if that was a county thing, but he was building up the property, bringing up the grade so they could build some projects there. I spoke with Matt, and he had an employee use water trucks and applied water on the road while they were doing the infill, and that was quite helpful. Since then, the weather's gotten cold. They're no longer applying water, obviously, because it would freeze, but the dust continues. The city owns the road, and it's within the city limits. I think there's only 2 unpaved roads in the city, but I could be wrong. The map is outdated. I know you guys were talking about eventually paving Old Field. So I'd like this to be put on that priority list as well. The county roads department maintains the road that's within the city limits, and they also apply the rock. I don't know if there's an agreement with the city or if that's all county, if they just do it on their own. I spoke with them. They said they applied limestone to stabilize the road due to the heavy truck traffic and road deterioration. The traffic on this road is excessive, and it's increasing because of the developments. Not only is it Matt's little development where he's building his pond, but I believe he also owns the area over 62nd and Mill Road, I think. I don't know if that's his development too. So he's got a lot of things going on, and we see between 200 and 300 cars, trucks, equipment per day. Most of them are at high speeds. Since the garbage company was put in, they're probably the worst offenders. Those guys drive extremely fast, except for when it's wet. Then the trucks drive really slow. So I'm guessing the employees must be responsible for washing their own trucks because they don't drive fast when it's wet. But then we get Waverly staff, which Stephanie, I wanted to note, all employees go down that road extremely respectful. And please pass on to thank you very much. They make an effort to drive really good, and they almost create no dust at all. Same thing with Matt's employees. They're very good, but everybody else, they don't know what speed limits are. But we have farmers, grain trucks, chicken plant employees that haul chicken birds, everything. Waverly residents going to the tree dump, development contractors, heavy trucks, 18-wheelers. And I did bring some pictures. I tried to email them to you guys. I just want you to see what the dust I'm talking about. If you just swipe to the left, there's 6 pictures. You can see all 6 of them and kind of get an idea of how much dust I'm talking about. It's not just a little bit of dust. You can just pass it all around. But the 18-wheelers are the worst. They create so much dust.
Brandon, what did you say your address was?
12200 North 148.
Thank you.
It's a corner of 148th
I see it.
and Williams. When we bought our property, it didn't have much traffic except during harvest, and that's about it. Our house is 1856, is pretty old on the property. So since the garbage company development, the hot goat coat company that's being built, CCS, I think it is, I'm not sure, Matt Warner's development, his other development, the traffic has gotten crazy. This traffic damages 148th with the mill fillings. You guys are having to do a lot of that, I heard. That's from these heavy trucks. As the road goes from the blacktop to the gravel, it's already sunken about 4 inches just right at the concrete culvert. So I don't know if these heavy semis are causing that. As it drops off, it's sinking right there. So I don't know if there's going to be an issue. I don't know if there'll be an issue at some point for that, but I just wanted to mention it. They, 80,000-pound trucks going 40 to 50 miles an hour and then hitting that, they're crushing it. So not to mention how quickly these heavy trucks break down the rock because it's limestone. It crushes really easy, and yes, it turns to dust. That's where our dust has come from. I know there's some EPA regulations pertaining to rock dust control. I can't find my copy. I was going to bring it tonight, but I don't have it, so I'm going to put together a better packet of information on this. I know there's a Lancaster County Commission signed agreement with building roads within the city that might be able to help fund these projects that I was going to bring, but of course I couldn't find that. This kind of all got pushed on me because I didn't realize you guys were meeting us tonight. I know the city is responsible for maintaining city roads and protect and preserve the quality of life of its citizens. We are a citizen of Waverly, even though technically we're just outside the city limits. We pay our taxes here, our kids attend the school, and eventually our property will be consumed into the city. We feel it's time that the road be blacktopped. We're asking the city to put it on a high priority list and work to get that done. Maybe they can work in conjunction with the Department of Roads, maybe figure out some funding for that project. I don't expect the whole entire road to be done all the way to Mill Road, but I think that it should be done to probably somewhere, I'm guessing the tree dump area. I think because that's city property, I think it would be appropriate to have it paved up to that or blacktopped up to that part. I know blacktop is cheaper than concrete. We're asking the city council to make it high priority and get this done and protect our rights to enjoy our property. We don't even go outside, can't go outside, can't roll down our windows, our house, and I'm not saying it's the city's property, but our problem, but it's, I think the city has a power that can do this and get this taken care of. By issuing permits to these developments, I think we were kind of just left out of the loop. We didn't know these were happening. Otherwise I would have came and asked, what are your plans for this road? You're obviously going to create more demand on this road. Could the developers put money towards getting this paved or getting this blacktop? It would benefit the city. It would preserve and protect our health. And it would be beneficial to the city of Waverly as well. I'm just asking that the city do something, find some measures. You guys have the power and authority to do this. I don't. I'm gonna do some more research and try to find some more information and come back and present again to you guys with some more information on what I think needs to be done. But that's what we'd like to do. We'd like to have done. Thank you for your time and congratulations on your election. I'm glad to see some new faces here. If you don't know who I was quite the disruptor for quite a while. But,
I'm probably the only face left.
yeah, well, Stephanie and Mark. Yeah. But it's glad to see that. I know everybody gets involved for their reasons. I'm just glad that more people are involved. And by the way, Mayor, if the exterior jurisdiction planning commission person would like to resign and doesn't want to do it anymore, consider me. I'd like to do that. I wanted to do it with Mike Warner, but me and Mike didn't get along too well, so he said absolutely not. But if that comes up,
Yeah,
I would be
we'll
available.
write your name down.
Thank you.
Thank you for presenting. Thank you for bringing this to us.
You got your literature. Oh, here we go. I need that thing. You betcha. This thing had an inch of dust on it. That's all.
Okay. 6A, claims for payment.
I move that we accept claims for payment in the amount of $167,652.30.
Third.
Any discussion? Call for a vote.
Motion carried 3-0.
6B, treasurer's report and budget and expense report.
That's a motion.
Oh, I move to accept the treasurer's report.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. Call for a vote.
Motion carried 3-0.
7, introduction of resolutions. There are none. 8, introduction of ordinances. There are none. 9, introduction of business and communications. 9A, consideration of the 2025 Aquatic Center Policy. And fees.
I move that we accept the 2025 Aquatic Center Policy.
Second.
Discussion?
I went to that meeting, yeah, they had quite a discussion about all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, if we can just get a quick,
Yep.
brief rundown for the public, more than anything, just so we have it on there.
We worked with the Park and Rec Committee to make recommendations. We asked them to make recommendations for fees for the next year, taking into account that there will be a raise for minimum wage, and then also our returning employees will get seniority raises. We will have a fair amount of new starting lifeguards, so that does they will start at the base rate of $14 an hour for lifeguards, and then also our electrical fees for the facility have gone down. So there's some things that didn't cause it to need to jump incredibly. Family season passes went up $25. The extra, if there's more than 4 people in the family, that remained at $25. So it's $225 for a family season pass. An adult season pass went up $10. Senior citizen season pass went up $10, and the couples pass went up $10 as well. Children's season pass went up $10. Adult lap swim did not change. Daily admissions went up $1 for adults, and for seniors, child daily admission stayed the same. And the same thing happened for nightly admission. Child stayed the same, and adults and seniors went up. Pool parties went up for, we don't have pool parties that usually last less than 2 hours. So a 2-hour pool party, less than 50 people went up $50. More than 50 people went up $100. Swim team went up $10. Swimming lessons went up $5. And then daycare, the Park and Rec Committee made a recommendation that daycare, there are, to do away with special rates for daycares, and that it would just apply for daily rates for any daycare that comes in. So if you bring in 10 kids, you're paying a daily rate for 10 kids. If any of those children happen to have a season pass, they'll get in underneath their season pass. So you would just pay for the kids that do not have a season pass.
They were worried about that because, when they come over there, pool goes to capacity a lot of times, and then other,
It does cause our facility to reach capacity for several hours at a time. And so we're hoping that this is something that is works better for the facility.
And it's not, we have 4 daycare centers in Waverly, I believe. So it's not just Waverly daycare centers that come and use our center, right? There's other daycare centers outside of Waverly that are also using our center that drive that capacity and drive that attendance. So
they wanted to pay for it.
I wonder if some of them were coming out because it was cheaper than going to Lincoln, the area where they were in. Lincoln.
yeah, well, and I think last year and the year before, there's not all pools in Lincoln are open.
True. Half of it
Yeah.
time, right?
Right.
They all.
And we're open every day.
Probably nicer pool.
Way nicer pool too, yeah.
Yeah, so
We do have a very nice facility. So anyway, those will be the rates, provided council approves or agrees with the recommendation from the Park and Rec Committee.
The only question, if anyone was there at the meeting, I'd be curious about, the only one that concerns, that's not a concern. But the only one that raises a question at all with me is the senior increase. Was there any discussion about maybe leaving the senior rate the same? I know when we're talking about population base, sometimes the seniors that are more on a fixed income and.
They looked at me and said, raise it.
They were looking at banning, I think. Is what they were looking at me.
There was not any.
Speed up.
Yeah.
There was not any discussion around the senior.
I don't remember
We
anything.
wanted to keep the kids' rates.
I think it was just kind of everybody but the kids.
We wanted to make it so that we weren't hurting the kids.
I wonder if I doubt we have statistics because it'd be really difficult. But I wonder what sort of attendance rate seniors make up.
Senior citizens daily, we had.
Would you keep it? Oh my goodness.
oh yeah.
We had 484 senior daily passes and 71 senior night passes. As far as the individual season passes, I can't tell you how those were broken up for sure, but I'm gonna guess not a whole lot were seniors.
No, because there's not a lot of individual season passes.
Yeah.
The pool did quite well, financial-wise.
I know they put a lot of work into this and stuff. I wonder how much of an impact that would make if we decided to leave the senior rates the same as they were last year.
It's
We're talking
it's not gonna make it financial ruin. Huh?
Yeah. Because if we're, according to those here, if we really only raise the daily rate by $1, that's only $480 some for the season. That we'd miss out on, which again wouldn't make or break that, but.
I don't remember any comments on that, do you?
No, they didn't discuss that. So I mean, it's truly up to the council.
Do we think those are seniors primarily bringing grandkids needing to pay that, or are they swimming laps and utilizing it for?
Lap swim is completely different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, we have about 20 some people that participated in lap swim on a routine basis. So, and they pay their lap swim fees
Stay the same.
yeah, and they stay the same. Yeah. So these would be seniors that were probably bringing kids.
Those last were probably seniors too.
And that's a good point, because our favorite social media sites, that was one of the few downsides to the pool where there were some complaints about, well, I'm not swimming, I'm just bringing my kids, do I have to pay? And now we don't have to pay $1 more to bring their grandkids or whatever it might be.
My mom wasn't on the social media site, but I'll tell you that was something she said to me.
She's clearly not going to swim. but
She's not gonna swim.
supervising,
She can't swim.
but
She
yeah.
does not swim. So she didn't get in, but she did say the same thing when she took my kids.
It was one of
I'm just
the,
saying.
honestly, one of the few, like, complaints, I think, besides
Yeah.
random silliness. But
But
I thought that was, fairly valid.
that, but
You
that's
want
your
to make a motion,
decision.
if you want to make a motion to change the, leave
That'd
the
help me
seniors
out,
at
Dave,
the
if you
same.
did that. I don't want to go there. I don't have to go down there anyway.
I'm kind of leaning towards it. I don't think it'll hurt the bottom line from the pool at all.
So are you just talking, so we have several
just
different senior rates here, so we
It
have.
would be across the board. What I'm thinking about, is a motion that would, freeze the senior rates on the season pass and the daily passes to what they were last year.
Okay.
So it would leave it at 75 and 95
And then,
and
Six
then
and
whatever the daily rate is.
yeah, 6 and.
And
Yep,
4.
6 and 4.
So I think it will. I think I'll make a motion to amend the. Let me bring it up soon. I'd like to make a motion to amend the 2025 Aquatic Center Policy to freeze the senior rates at what they were in 2024.
No second.
You're really 55.
Permission is that.
No.
That's how you say it.
Is it?
One second.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Oh my God, I'm so close.
I'm a year
Mayor,
away.
we had a second. Mayor, we had a second. I don't know if you heard it.
Yeah, okay. We have a second. All right,
Nielsen.
so we have a second. Okay, any discussion on that? All right, so we need a vote to approve the amendment. Go
Okay.
ahead and vote on that.
Motion carried 3-0.
Okay,
I mean, I don't have anything else discussion wise, but
okay.
I think they clearly put in a lot of really good work here.
They did.
And it really was a thoughtful process.
The only thing I noted in there, and just curious if there's any discussion, is on the no vaping or tobacco products. I assume that there's a sign up, but it says that they'll be disposed of immediately. Is that really the best route to try to take those and dispose of them? Or is the best route, if somebody comes in with tobacco, to have them leave for the day and not try to obtain and dispose of the product?
We did not discuss that. But
Not to mention,
that-
that's putting staff at, yeah, it's a good point, because that could be putting staff at a
Putting the
weird,
staff in a really bad.
Is that a
weird
problem?
spot, especially. I think it very well could be peers, if it's a lifeguard. that's-
Peers could be people just getting,
so your recommendation, no vaping or tobacco products will be permitted in the aquatic center.
Anyone found with these products will be,
Has to leave immediately.
yep, for the day.
as long as we have signage and everything up that clearly says there's no tobacco products allowed. And I assume there's a no weapons and no tobacco products.
Yeah.
sign up, but I haven't gone there looking
I think at the
for
front,
them.
yeah.
As much as Jason wants to go to the pool.
No, please don't. Education. I'd say what's area though, because I don't want to get called like, you get mine or someone calls it like parking lot or something. When they call it, it's like, what's area up there is my legal kind of concern. Inside the aquatic center parking lot.
Say just inside the center.
We'll put inside the
Inside
fence
the aquatic.
area.
Yeah.
That's illegal, guys.
And just don't want to put any of our lifeguards in a situation where they have to have confrontations.
So I'm assuming some of the vape stuff is expensive. I actually don't know.
I'm assuming they don't want to throw it away. Yeah.
Right, they wouldn't. Or even a pack of cigarettes, to be honest with you, that's $10 then.
They are crazy.
Right?
I was at the store the other day. Okay. We have to leave the pool area immediately and for that
For the
day.
day,
For the day, yeah.
for the remainder of the day. Did that cover
Yes.
our intent of they have to leave for that day if we read it?
Yeah, again, we'll see how enforcement goes.
I still just think that that's, yeah, I think that is safer asking them to leave. If they try to sneak back in later, it's still not that confrontation of, give me your thing.
Give me your,
Watch me throw it
put
away.
on a throw.
Yeah.
Do you want to make that motion?
I'll make the motion to amend the Aquatic Center area number 3 to no vaping or tobacco products will be permitted in the Aquatic Center fenced-in area.
And it'll be done.
And what was the rest of that? They'll be
Asked to leave the
asked to
pool
leave
area.
the pool area
For the rest of the day.
for the rest of the day.
I'll second that.
Let's call for a vote on that amendment.
Motion carried, 3-0.
Okay. Do you want to make an amendment? So now let's vote on accepting this policy as amended and fees.
Motion carried, 3-0.
Excellent.
That's the most controversial one we've ever had since I've been here.
All right, 9B, consideration of a bid, Lawson sprinkler maintenance and repairs.
Dave, do you know
Yep, give
What-
me just a second here.
what they need in that?
Yep.
Okay. I do, if you want me to make a motion.
I get it. I make a motion to approve the bid from Ryan Lawn and Tree for Lawson Park sprinkler maintenance and repairs in an amount not to exceed $5,500.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, call for a vote.
Motion carried, 3-0.
9D, consideration of the purchase of a VB 160 for the use of spreading biosolids from Myers EMC Corporation in an amount not to exceed $38,280.13 plus applicable freight charges.
I move to approve the purchase of a VB 160 for the use of spreading biosolids from Myers EMC Corporation in an amount not to exceed $38,280.13 plus applicable freight charges.
Any discussion?
Just to point out that this was part of a budgeted item as well, so this is not something that popped up. This is something
Yep.
that we looked at.
Yes. All right, call for a vote.
Motion carried, 3-0.
All right, committee reports. 10A Parks and Rec, do you have something that you want to share on behalf of Allison?
I do. So the Park and Rec Committee met on February 4th. Much of that time was spent going over the Aquatic Center for the discussion on the increasing the fees and what we were going to charge for admission for this year. We also had a brief discussion about the dog park and talked about some potential fundraising ideas, some fencing quotes that Allison has gotten, and also possibly that she may reach out to the Waverly Community Foundation Fund for partnering on that project. We elected officers. The current officers were re-elected to serve in their positions. So the chairman of the Park and Rec Committee is Trevor Hasenkamp. Vice chairman is John Toy, and secretary is Erica Carlson. They are continuing to finish up doing some tree work in Wayne Park, getting rid of some of the ash trees. And the maintenance projects that will get Field 1 ready for high school baseball season, which is painting the outfield foul poles and replacing the netting and the batting cage at Wayne Park. And then there's also a safety strip that's going to be replaced on the fence out at Field 1. And that's all going to happen here within this next month. So registration started and just finished up for spring soccer, baseball, and softball.
All right, 10B Public Works, Aaron?
They finished installing the new salt brine transfer pumps. There is a new oxidation ditch recirculation pump at the wastewater treatment plant. They hauled out more biosolids from the wastewater treatment. They're continuing to work on the shouldering on 148th Street and Bluff Road to Waverly Road. They met with the Lancaster County about repairs to Canongate Road, along with the bridge approach repairs, and trying to combine both those projects together between the agencies. They applied salt brine on all the streets on February 5th. I would imagine they're out there probably getting ready to do that
They're
again for the storm coming up. Worked on designating ADA ramps for the sidewalks to prepare for the bidding in March. They started to scan older documents from their file cabinets. And 3 employees attended the water training class in Tecumseh.
Thank you. 10C, Public Health, David.
The crew had their business meeting last week and some EMS training this week with their systems. They are distributing their tax forms for their volunteers. You can get many of them will qualify for a volunteer tax credit. Part of that discussion at their business meeting was to alter a little bit of the timing of some of their trainings that would help allow in the future more of their volunteers to qualify for that credit. You have to earn points through trainings or calls, etc., in order to qualify for that tax credit. So they're looking at ways of expanding some of their training because they had some folks who were just missing out on hours. And so they're looking at that. They'll probably take some more action on that next month. And then they are also looking at, they're working on doing some small general maintenance on several of their pieces of equipment. Nothing too major, didn't look like. And then every year they do an appreciation dinner. There's kind of doing a form for all the volunteers to see if they wanted to expand that to do more than just a dinner, have some sort of an outing, a gathering or something like that to show appreciation for the folks that volunteer. That's all I have.
10D, Dave.
Okay, Waverly Chamber of Commerce and the City of Waverly held a ribbon cutting at Packer Supply Company on Friday. Owners Derek and Jennifer Canor gave a tour of the facility they sell and ship high quality aftermarket parts for meat packers and processors. Many of their parts are used in shipping / logistic part of the meat industry. They are located at 13940 Guilford Street, former Pepper True Valley.
Oh.
Nice young couple. They go to my church. Monday, February 24th, the Planning Commission and Wednesday, February 26th, the CRA will meet to take the next steps for the West Waverly redevelopment plan and area-wide TIP project. Last Thursday, February 27th, is the new City Council quarterly planning meeting. We will discuss both short and long-range capital improvement projects for the city.
What is that?
What's the last part?
Yeah, what day?
February 27th.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
10E, staff.
So last week we had our Safe Streets for All focus groups. We met one meeting we held with local employers. So we had 3 of the larger employers in the community represented. And then in the evening, we met with some school and other community members to talk about traffic safety and to use their information to create our action plan for the Safe Streets for All grant. Last Friday, we also had our city staff safety meeting. And part of that meeting was to discuss the new AED and first aid kits that we have around our community. So we got new AEDs for the swimming pool and the city office building. Both of those AEDs hook up directly with the fire department's equipment that they use to monitor heart rate and everything, so that they don't have to switch equipment. They just plug in and go.
I don't want you to be trained on that for me. The entire office has been trained for me.
So that's one of the next steps for our safety committee. But anyway, part of that, so Lawrence, the insurance provider for the city of Waverly, annually has a $500 safety grant. And so we applied for the safety grant and we're awarded $500, and that helps defray some of the costs for the AED for the city office. Waverly Ridge, the new residential development on the southeast corner of Highway 6 and 148th Street. They are about 45% complete installing the sanitary sewer mains out there. About 3% complete on the water main. They had to start on some of the water main because they also started on some of the box culverts for the crossings that go from 148th where you cross onto Kenilworth to go into the development. And then a little bit farther in on Werner Street, there's a box culvert too. So they started work on those.
Are they doing like a little mini retention cellar along 148?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of, they have to be able to store the water from the development itself.
I figured that's what it was, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think they needed some of the dirt as well. I submitted the annual report to NIFA as part of the grant funds that the city received to assist with our housing study. So we have to send in the annual report every year to talk about what housing developments have happened or what has happened in the housing industry in Waverly. We will close on the GEO water bond. So the water bond for Oak Lane and Danvers, we were borrowing the money for that, and we went ahead and closed on that bond right now to hopefully capture the best interest rates that we would be able to capture here in the coming days. We got it for a true interest cost of 4.56%. That was a $1.2 million bond. It'll pay off on 12/31 of 39. We can refinance after 5 years, if in case in 5 years interest rates would be better, we could
If I'm
refinance.
still here as city attorney and that's not paid, I'll pay off.
Good deal.
Can you write that up? Write that up, please. I'll sign it.
Did somebody record that?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, good.
Mine is the
Sure, red. Mark, you turned red.
Keep them going.
And then the last thing is, the planning commission does meet on the 24th. We will be discussing some communications towers, some amendments to the regulations on communications towers to allow them in both GI and LI zoning districts, and then on city properties as well. And the redevelopment plan is on the 24th at the planning commission meeting as well. That's it.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to enter executive session to protect the public interest, reason being a strategy session with respect to contract negotiations.
Second. Sorry, I didn't hear up.
Take a vote.
Motion carried 3-0.
53.
6:53. We will call you all back in. And we are done.